and he implemented that virtue. And of course this shows great patience and a great virtue from our Master Umar. It's a perfect example of him implementing that virtue, because that person came into his session and he told him that you don't give us a lot and you don't judge amongst us rightfully, or that he doesn't judge fairly amongst the people. And our Master Umar, of course, is the leader of the believers. He has the physical power to vent or to fulfill his anger towards him, but instead he held it in. Hadith number 51 from Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إِنَّهَا سَتَكُونُ بَعْدِي أَثَرَةٌ وَأُمُورٌ تُنْكِرُونَهَا. The companions, they said, O Messenger of Allah, what do you order us with? And he said, تُؤَدُّونَ الْحَقَّ الَّذِي عَلَيْكُمْ وَتَسْأَلُونَ اللَّهَ الَّذِي لَكُمْ. So, this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, after I am gone, there will be misappropriation and matters of which you disapprove. Yani, there would be rights that are violated and things that you disapprove, yani, because they are not following the laws or the rules of the religion. And so the companions, they said, O Messenger of Allah, what do you command us to do? And the Prophet ﷺ replied, to fulfill the rights you owe to others and ask Allah for what is owed to you. And again, something that requires patience, yani that type of situation. 52, Abu Yahya Usaid, the son of Hudayr, he reported that a man of the Ansar said, O Messenger of Allah, will you not appoint me as you appointed so-and-so? And so the Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِنَّكُمْ سَتَلْقَوْنَ بَعْدِي أَثَرَةً فَاصْبِرُوا حَتَّى تَلْقَوْنِي عَلَى الْحَوْضِ مُتَّفَقٌ عَلَيْهِ. So again, the Prophet ﷺ, he told them, you will experience misappropriation after I have gone, so be patient until you meet me at the basin. Yani, be patient until you die. Hey, there's going to be things that are going to happen after the Prophet ﷺ passes away that is going to require patience. Hadith number 53 from Abu Ibrahim Abdullah, the son of Abi Awfa radiyallahu anhuma, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that on one of the days when he came face to face with the enemy, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam waited until the sun had declined, and he waited until the sun declined westward, and he said to them, to the companions, يا أيها الناس لا تتمنوا لقاء العدو واسألوا الله العافية فإذا لقيتموهم فاصبروا وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ الْجَنَّةَ تَحْتَ ظِلَالِ السُّيُوفِ. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, اللهم منزل الكتاب ومجري السحاب وهازم الأحزاب اهزمهم وانصرنا عليهم متفق عليه. Okay, many things in this hadith. So this is before the battle. So the Prophet ﷺ, he waited until the sun had declined, and he said, O people, do not be too eager to meet the enemy. And because some people, they will not be patient upon what it takes to do the battle. So meaning, do not make yourself, or do not think Hey, do not be that type of person that you're going to be, let's say, having the inclination or the motivation, or saying that you want to do this, but then you're not prepared to deal with what comes with the circumstances of the battle. And a person, he might feel in his heart that he wants to do it and he wants to be in the battle, but then when he comes to the situation where he is in the situation, he would feel that he cannot do it, and he will be unable to do it. He'll be weak to do it. So that's what that means, yani. Not for someone who they can do it and they can bear it. And then he said, ask Allah for well-being, yani to have well-being. Then he said, when you do meet them, yani once you are there, and if that's the situation and it did end up occurring, then be steadfast and be patient upon that situation, and do not run away from the battlefield. Do not desert the battlefield, because of course that is an enormous sin, and it's not permissible to desert the battlefield once the Muslims and the opposing army have both arrived, and the opposing army is not more than double the size of the Muslim army. So if the opposing army is only double the size of the Muslim army, then the Muslims, they have to endure. They're obligated to remain. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he said, know that paradise is under the shadow of the swords. Yani, this is to show the virtue of the proper and the correct jihad. So of course many people, they have, it's like a word that some people, their heart starts to race when they hear this word. And it is a word that has been, by the extremists, it has been given a certain type of connotation. The fact of the reality, or the fact of the matter, is that this term or this concept in the Islamic law, it is not like how it is portrayed in the media, and it is not like how it is announced or advertised by the extremist groups and by the Wahhabis and by the Ikhwanjis and by these people that are ignorant of the rules of Islam, and they try to use the name of Islam to fulfill their bad inclinations. So, for example, there's rules of engagement, there's conditions. It is not permissible to blow yourself up, to be like, to unalive yourself with something that is like an explosion. It is not permissible to go and in your car and start running a bunch of people over in the street. It's not permissible to go and start unaliving people in the supermarket with an automatic. This is not jihad. That's not jihad. What this hadith is referring to is that when the enemies of Islam, when they insist on trying to corrupt the Muslims and trying to force the Muslims to be how they want them to be, and when the non-Muslims, they choose not to accept that Islam, and they refuse to accept that Islam, and they refuse to live under the rules of Islam, which are just, and they would result in social prosperity, and they would result in the livelihoods and the day-to-day of the constituents of the Muslim government to be stable, not like in today's world and today's system, where they promise all types of so-called safety and freedom and abundance, but in reality they just lie, and what you have is the opposite. What you have is people telling you to your face that they're going to make the prices of groceries go down, but instead the prices of grocery double. They have people telling you to your face, oh, it's going to become easier for you to feed your family and to pay your bills, but then you're getting evicted and you're losing your house and you can't pay your rent because of these explosions in pricing, because of these high prices, because of these things that, of course, they have a hand in it and they know what they're doing and they understand that they're telling you one thing, and that they know, of course, because they're working behind closed doors, etc. They know the details of the contracts that they sign. They know the details of the processes that they engage in, that when they do this and when they do that, it's going to have this and that effect. But then they go out to the people, to face the people, and they tell them the opposite of what they know the result of their actions is going to be. And so that is what's detrimental to the society, and that is what harms the people. And for us in the Islamic government, and if there were in the rules of Islam, if the people were to be living under an Islamic government, the Islamic government would not cheat its citizens, would not lie to the people and take their money unjustly, would not tell the people that your life is going to be easier, but then your life becomes harder. The Muslim government would not do such a thing. So if that opposing enemy, they refuse to live under the rules of Islam, they would then, of course, be met on the battlefield. And it is an honorable way, and the battle would be with rules. It's not permissible to unalive women, non-combatant women and children. It's not permissible to drop bombs on, let's say, families that have nothing to do with it. This is not what it is. So before any of those who hate Islam and those who they slander the Muslims and those who talk bad about Muslims and those hate mongers, before they can point the finger at us, because in the first place, what the Wahhabis do, what the extremists do, what those bad terrorists do in the name of Islam, it is condemned by Islam. Up front, period, full stop, no word salad and no jumping around and dancing around, point blank period. It's forbidden to unalive yourself with a bomb in a crowd of people. It's forbidden in Islam to go out and run people over with your car that are walking in the street. It's forbidden in Islam to go and take a weapon to the supermarket and start unaliving people. This is forbidden. This is haram. When we say jihad, it is the organized battle. Organized battle. Two armies facing each other, toe to toe, face to face, man to man. That's the jihad. And of course, even in that case, the Muslims are not allowed to destroy things of value, like fruit-bearing trees and property. They're not allowed to destroy it. So you see that what the people who want to point the finger at us and they want to vilify Muslims and they want to vilify the rules of Islam, they are in no position to point the finger. Rather, what they need to do is look in the mirror and see that they are drenched from head to toe in blood unjustly. They are drenched in head to toe in blood unjustly, and they cannot point the finger at us. They have no moral grounds to criticize us or to try and vilify us or demonize Muslims or to vilify or demonize jihad. It's an organized battle, it's toe-to-toe, it's man-to-man. It's not unaliving. It's not unaliving yourself. It's not destroying infrastructure. It's not unaliving non-combatant women and children. It's not unaliving people that have nothing to do with it. They're not part of the battle. It's toe-to-toe, man-to-man. And there's nothing that the haters of Islam or the enemies of Islam that they can do to try and criticize us and criticize the Muslims for that. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. Oh, let me say the meaning. I'll continue the meaning, I didn't finish it. Know that paradise is under the shadow of the swords, and it shows the virtue of the proper jihad. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he made a supplication. He said, "O Allah, revealer of the book, the one who makes the clouds move, and the one who grants victory to the Muslims over the different factions of non-Muslims that try to harm the Muslims, defeat them and help us against them." And by that we conclude the chapter of patience. Next, inshallah, will be the chapter of honesty, or the chapter of truthfulness. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. Are there any questions? Any questions over there? طيب نهلل لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم رب اغفر لي وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات وبارك الله فيكم. السلام عليكم.